Yo, welcome back. SJB from SJB Speaks. Another episode, or excuse me, another morning musing. So this one kind of hit me. So really today is all about how you can't escape grief. You just can't get away with it. Can't get away from it, rather. I remember having a conversation with, might have been my gran. We were talking about grief. I think we were on one of our Sam's Club runs, or we were on the way to Sam's or something one day. And I don't even think we had reached the 1 year anniversary of Shaw, my cousin Sade, her passing. So no, we hadn't reached it yet. She passed in October. This was the summertime. So we're in the car, we're talking. She's just talking about how, like, even though it's been months, it feels like the first day. Like every day just feels like the same thing all over again. And I remember telling her that grief is like company that stays too long. You ever had company over your house and they don't know, like they don't pick up the cues to leave? I had an old friend that was like that. They used to want to come over all the time, but they never knew when to leave. And it would be like, bro, get the fuck out. But anyway, so grief is a lot like that. It's like this nagging thing. It's like you think you're in the house by yourself and that bastard still ain't left yet. It's like the house is quiet. Everything in your life is seems balanced. And then you hear them in the other room, and it's like, fuck, I thought you were gone. That's what grief is like to me. So a couple weeks ago, I'm watching the news, which I don't do often anymore, but I tuned in this one particular day because I'm like, let me make sure the world hasn't gone to shit. Yeah, well, anyway, so I'm watching the news and immediately my mood shifts, right? And I'm just, the energy's real heavy and I'm just not in the best mood anymore. So I decide, okay, I'm going to turn it off. And I've been watching Ted Lasso, right? And which I never had any interest in the show before. Like I've seen, previews and stuff like that. Never really was my thing. But it ended up auto playing after a movie one time. And so when it did, I watched the first episode. I was like, oh, this is kind of, it's kind of funny. And so I stuck with it. And so I'm watching it. So the episode that I tune into, they're all in the locker room and they're standing in a circle and they're all sharing, like, they're being vulnerable. And so the part that they're talking about, though, they're talking about they've got, and now I can't remember the guy's name for whatever reason, but he's like the real surly one, he's the mean one, the one they call the asshole, not Jamie, the other guy. I can't remember his name. I don't know why. It's gonna bug me. But anyway, he's talking, and he's talking about this sweater, and it just gets really deep. And long story short, at the end of everything, he's talking about grief, and that brought me to the realization that you can't escape it. So, like, that particular day, the part that I didn't talk about was I was missing Shaw a little bit. So I was kind of having one of those days. I have those sometimes where I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. It paralyzes me. I can't do anything. I don't want to do anything. I kind of just want to, at the most I might write, but that's really all I can bring myself to do. Emotionally, I'm kind of spent when I get in those moods. So it just brought me to the realization in real time that grief is not something that you can escape. Although I was trying to escape it, I'll distract myself. I'll watch the news. Let me, there got to be people doing worse, which is such a shitty perspective to take when you're trying to make yourself feel better. I never understood why people said that. There's always somebody worse off than you. Like, yeah, but goddamn, I got to think about them just to feel better. I got to think about them doing worse than me. What the fuck? Sorry. Okay, let me not go on a rant. It's still early, y'all. I haven't had my tea. So anyway, so I came to the conclusion that you just can't escape it. It's just very real. I'm trying to watch the news. It finds me there. I'm watching a TV show that's supposed to be light and funny and right. The one scene that I tune into, I mean, there are other like sad scenes and serious scenes, but as soon as I click it on, there it is right in my face. So it was just a reminder, like, you can't escape this. And it's not that I'm not dealing with her death. I've dealt with it. It sucks. So, you know, you just learn to live with it. And now here I am, about to be 35 on Monday. You know, I think about that every birthday. I count every birthday. Now, you know, she was 32 when she passed away. 30 fucking 2. And so, you know, it's a lot. It's a lot. So I say all that to say that if you are dealing with grief, if you've lost someone, if you're hurting, you know, my prayers go out to you. My heart goes out to you. It's not an easy thing to carry. And although loss is a part of life, it doesn't get easier. It doesn't, you know, still hard to wrap your head around that a person is actually gone. You know, thank God for my ADHD and my object permanence, because a lot of times that saves me from, hell, missing anyone, really, because I'm just not thinking about it. But boy, once I'm thinking about it, my God. So yeah, just keep on living. That's all we can do. We can just keep going, you know, try and, I don't know, try and do the best we can. But anyway, this wasn't supposed to be a heavy episode or anything. But shit, grief is heavy. Life is heavy, you know. This is real life. People are going through real shit. And so just know you're not alone. You know, I'm terribly sorry for your loss. And yeah. I'll leave you guys with this. I don't know why it's coming to mind, but it really put things into perspective for me when Shaw passed away. I remember it was a few days after she passed. She passed in the fall. And in October. It was a few days later, and I was standing out back. I was on the phone with my uncle, and we were talking. And I told him, I said, you know, the world feels so cold now that she's gone. You know, it just feels like everything's in black and white. And he paused for a moment and he said, it's not that the world is cold. It's just that the world doesn't stop for you to catch your breath. You know, it just keeps going. Life keeps going. I think that's the suckiest part about grief, is that life keeps going. You know? And those of us who are left here are kind of just left holding the bag. So, of course, this is me looking at it from a very human perspective. From a spiritual perspective, it's just a part of a process. But that doesn't make it suck any less. So, here we are. I will tell you this, though, because I did mention this earlier. The one thing that I can still do, even when I'm in that state of just sheer and utter sadness and despair, is I can still create. I can still leverage my gifts. So lean into your gifts. Use those to, mend your broken heart. For me, it was my podcast. My podcast helped me a lot. Loner's Guide to the Galaxy. Because it happened as I was in the process of recording my podcast. So I had a lot of material to record, a lot of things to say. But anyway, so yeah, just find an outlet. But whatever you do, don't hold it in. Something else that helped me during my early grieving process was doing good for others. So I just did a lot of stuff for other people, and things that they could never repay, or like all they could do is say thank you, right? It was one of those types of situations, a lot of those types of situations. And that was great. That was a blessing to me. So, never discount an opportunity to uplift someone else, or encourage someone else, or see someone else, or inspire someone else, or be kind to someone else. So, yeah, that's all I got for y'all today. That's the morning musing. That's what's on my heart and my thoughts. And 11 minutes later, here we are. So, all right, until next time, be well, stay safe, and many blessings. Peace.